Welcome to Lost at 3 a.m. Put your phone down, close your eyes, and let this be the last video you hear tonight. Relax, breathe, and let's begin. Tonight, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch. It's more than just a console. It's a little piece of magic that's redefined how we think about gaming. Whether you're at home on the couch, traveling on a train, or relaxing in bed, the Switch fits into your life seamlessly. But what makes the Nintendo Switch so special? Is it the games, the design, or maybe the sheer creativity behind it? Over the next few minutes, we'll explore the fascinating story of how the Switch came to be, the features that make it unique, and the games that have defined its legacy. The Switch is a console that can do it all. You can dock it to play on your TV, slide out the Joy-Cons for multiplayer fun, or pick it up and take it wherever you go. It's simple, flexible, and most importantly, fun. When it launched in 2017, it was clear that Nintendo had created something special. People loved the idea of a console that wasn't tied to one place. It was gaming on your terms, whether that meant big adventures on the big screen or quiet moments with a handheld. So let's dive into the world of the Nintendo Switch. From its origins to its incredible success, we'll uncover the facts and stories behind this game-changing console. For now, just relax and let your mind wander. This is your time to unwind. The Nintendo Switch didn't appear out of nowhere. Its roots go back decades, to a time when Nintendo was already experimenting with how to bring gaming into different spaces. The company has always been about innovation, taking risks, trying new things, and finding ways to make gaming more fun and accessible. One of their earliest experiments with hybrid gaming came in the 1990s with something called the Nintendo 64 DD. It was an expansion for the Nintendo 64 that added features like a disk drive and internet connectivity. The idea was ahead of its time, but it didn't really catch on. Then there was the GameCube, which had an accessory to connect it with the Game Boy Advance. You could use the handheld as a controller or even as a second screen for certain games. It was another hint at what was to come. And who could forget the Wii U? With its touchscreen gamepad, the Wii U gave players the ability to switch between their TV and the controller screen. It wasn't a huge success, but it laid the foundation for what would become the Nintendo Switch. By the time the Switch was in development, Nintendo had learned from these past experiments. They knew they wanted a console that was simple, flexible, and fun to use. Something that could bring people together, but also let them play on their own terms. The Switch's design wasn't just about the hardware, it was about the experience. Whether you're at home, on the go, or somewhere in between, the Switch adapts to fit your life. That idea of adaptability became the core of the console, and it's why the name Switch is so fitting. As we move forward, we'll look at the features that make the Switch truly unique. But for now, just think about how much thought and creativity went into this console. Relax and let the story of the Nintendo Switch unfold. When Nintendo named their console the Switch, it wasn't just about sounding catchy, it was about capturing what makes it so unique. The name represents the console's ability to seamlessly switch between different ways to play. Whether you're playing on your TV, in handheld mode, or propping it up with a kickstand for tabletop gaming, the Switch adapts to you. This flexibility isn't something we'd seen before in a gaming console. Nintendo wanted to create something that felt intuitive, something that fit into your life without you having to think about it. That idea of switching modes effortlessly became the heart of the console's design. Even the logo is meaningful. Those two circular Joy-Con symbols represent the detachable controllers, but they also symbolize the idea of two players coming together. It's subtle but clever. Nintendo's way of showing that the Switch is all about connecting people. Whether you're sharing a game or playing solo, the concept of switching doesn't stop with the hardware. It's in the games too. With titles like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, you can jump between epic battles and quiet moments of exploration. Or in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can go from a relaxing solo race to a chaotic multiplayer session with friends. Nintendo designed the Switch to fit into your life, no matter how you like to play. It's about options, freedom, and making gaming accessible to everyone. As we continue, we'll explore the Joy-Con controllers, one of the key features that make this console so versatile. For now, let that thought settle in, how something as simple as switching can make all the difference. Let's talk about the Joy-Cons, those small, colourful controllers that are packed with some of the most innovative features Nintendo has ever created. At first glance, they might seem simple, but the Joy-Cons are one of the key reasons the Switch is so unique. First, there's their detachable design. You can slide them onto the console for handheld mode, attach them to the grip for a more traditional controller feel, or use them individually as two separate controllers for multiplayer games. This versatility makes gaming on the Switch feel effortless, no matter how or where you're playing. Then there's the technology inside. The Joy-Cons have advanced motion sensors, which let you swing, tilt, or aim with precision. This is perfect for games like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, where you can aim your bow by tilting the controller. It's intuitive and makes you feel more connected to the game. One of the standout features of the Joy-Cons is HD rumble. This isn't your average vibration, it's incredibly detailed. Nintendo designed it to simulate real-world sensations. For example, in 1-2 Switch, there's a minigame where you can feel the sensation of marbles rolling around inside the controller. It's a small detail, but it adds a whole new layer of immersion. Even the design of the Joy-Con's click sound was intentional. That satisfying click when you slide them onto the console. Nintendo spent months perfecting it because they wanted it to feel just right. It's a small but meaningful detail that shows how much care went into the design. The Joy-Cons also make multiplayer gaming easy. If you're with a friend, you don't need an extra controller. Just hand them one of the Joy-Cons and you're ready to play. It's quick, it's simple, and it's a great example of Nintendo's philosophy, making gaming fun and accessible for everyone. As we move forward, we'll talk about the games that launched with the Switch and how they showcased everything these Joy-Cons could do. But for now, just think about how much creativity went into making these tiny controllers so powerful. Relax and let your thoughts drift with the click of a Joy-Con. The Nintendo Switch launched on March 3rd, 2017, and it wasn't just the console that captured everyone's attention, it was the lineup of games that came with it. At the heart of the launch was The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. This wasn't just a game, it was a masterpiece that redefined what open-world adventures could be. Breath of the Wild allowed players to explore a massive living world at their own pace. You could climb mountains, glide through the air, and discover secrets hidden in every corner. It wasn't just about defeating enemies, it was about the freedom to choose your own path. Critics called it one of the greatest games of all time, and for many, it was the perfect way to experience the Switch for the first time. But Zelda wasn't the only game that made the Switch launch unforgettable. 1-2 Switch was a quirky party game that showed off the Joy-Con's unique features. It included mini-games where you could milk a cow, guess how many marbles were in a box, or even have a quick draw duel. It was fun, silly, and a great way to introduce players to what the console could do. Then there was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Even though it wasn't technically a new game, it was a remastered version of the Wii U hit, it became an instant favorite on the Switch. The portability of the console meant you could take Mario Kart anywhere, turning any gathering into a race-filled party. The combination of these games helped the Switch hit the ground running. By the end of its first year, Nintendo had sold over 14 million units, surpassing the lifetime sales of the Wii U. It was clear that the Switch wasn't just another console, it was something special. The launch of the Switch wasn't about being flashy or over the top. It was about showing players the possibilities, gaming anywhere, sharing moments with friends, and losing yourself in incredible worlds. As we continue, we'll explore the games that defined the Switch over the years and solidified its place in gaming history. For now, Just imagine the excitement of unboxing a brand new console and starting your very first adventure. Let that thought guide you toward rest. The Nintendo Switch wasn't just another console, it became a cultural phenomenon. By the time it reached its 5-year anniversary, the Switch had sold over 100 million units, making it one of the best-selling consoles of all time. But what's truly impressive is how it achieved this success by doing things differently. Nintendo didn't focus on having the most powerful hardware or the flashiest graphics. Instead, they focused on creating something unique. The portability of the Switch, combined with its versatility, resonated with players around the world. It wasn't just a console, it was an experience. The Switch appealed to so many types of players. Hardcore gamers loved it for titles like Breath of the Wild and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Families embraced it for party games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Super Mario Party. And for people who didn't even think of themselves as gamers, the Switch offered relaxing experiences like Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Speaking of Animal Crossing, it became a defining game for the console. Released in 2020, during a time when the world felt disconnected, it gave people a sense of community and comfort. Players could visit each other's islands, trade items, and send virtual letters. It wasn't just a game, it was a way to stay connected when we needed it most. Nintendo's philosophy of fun first set the Switch apart. It didn't try to compete directly with other consoles like the PlayStation or Xbox. Instead, it carved out its own space, one that focused on creativity, accessibility, and bringing people together. The Switch's success wasn't just about numbers, it was about how it made players feel. Whether you were playing a quiet solo game late at night or sharing a chaotic multiplayer session with friends, the Switch created moments that mattered. As we move on, we'll dive into some of the games that made the Switch so memorable. For now, let yourself relax and think about the joy of playing. Whether it's an epic quest or a simple game of Tetris, those little moments of fun are what gaming is all about. Let that thought carry you closer to rest. The Nintendo Switch is home to some of the most beloved games ever created, and each one has played a role in defining the console's legacy. Let's start with Super Mario Odyssey. Released in 2017, this game reimagined the Mario series in a way that felt both fresh and nostalgic. With massive kingdoms to explore, and Mario's trusty companion, Cappy, introducing new gameplay mechanics, Odyssey was pure joy from start to finish. Another standout is Animal Crossing, New Horizons. This game became a cultural phenomenon, offering players a peaceful escape. In New Horizons, you could design your own island, make friends with charming animal villagers, and spend hours fishing, gardening, or just decorating your home. It wasn't about winning or losing, it was about creating a world that felt uniquely yours. Then there's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the ultimate crossover fighting game. With a roster of over 80 characters from across gaming history, it brought players together for chaotic battles that were as fun to watch as they were to play. Smash Ultimate became a celebration of gaming itself, uniting fans of every genre. Let's not forget Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a game that turned any gathering into a party. Whether you were drifting through Rainbow Road or tossing shells at your friends, Mario Kart reminded us why multiplayer games are so much fun. The Switch also became a hub for indie games, giving smaller developers a platform to shine. Titles like Hollow Knight, Celeste, and Stardew Valley found massive audiences on the console. These games offered heartfelt stories and unique gameplay experiences, proving that you don't need a big budget to make something unforgettable. The beauty of the Switch's game library is its variety. Whether you're embarking on a grand adventure, competing with friends, or relaxing with a cozy indie game, there's something for everyone. As we continue, we'll explore how the Switch also became a time machine, bringing classic games to a new generation. For now, let yourself drift into memories of your favorite gaming moments. The excitement, the laughter, the quiet joy, it's all part of the magic. The Nintendo Switch isn't just about new games, it's also a gateway to the past. With Nintendo Switch Online, players can revisit some of the most iconic games in history. It's like carrying a piece of gaming nostalgia in your pocket, ready to transport you back to simpler times. Through the service, you can access a library of NES and SNES classics. Titles like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Donkey Kong Country are just a few of the treasures waiting to be played. These games remind us of an era when gaming was about pixelated graphics, chiptune music, and endless hours of fun. Recently, Nintendo added N64 and Sega Genesis games to the lineup, expanding the library even further. Now you can relive adventures like The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, or even Sonic the Hedgehog. For many players, these aren't just games, they're memories. What makes this feature special is how it connects generations. Parents who grew up with these classics can share them with their kids, introducing them to the games that shaped their childhoods. And for younger players, it's a chance to experience gaming history for the first time. The Switch also brings these games into the modern age, with features like save states and rewind options. These small additions make it easier than ever to enjoy old-school challenges without the frustration of losing progress. There's something comforting about revisiting a game you played years ago. The sights, the sounds, even the little details. It all feels familiar, like catching up with an old friend. As you think about the classic games that have stuck with you, let those memories guide you to a place of calm. In the next section, we'll talk about how the Switch's hardware has evolved over the years. But for now, just imagine yourself picking up a controller, hearing those familiar tunes, and diving back into the games that started it all. The Nintendo Switch was groundbreaking when it first launched, but Nintendo didn't stop there. Over the years, they've introduced new versions of the console, each one refining and improving on the original design. The first major update came in 2019 with the release of the Nintendo Switch Lite. This version was made specifically for handheld gaming. It's smaller, lighter, and more portable than the original Switch, making it perfect for gaming on the go. The Lite doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons or a dock for TV play, but it's a great option for players who just want a simple, handheld experience. Then, in 2021, Nintendo released the Switch OLED model. This version brought a brighter, more vibrant screen that made games look even more stunning, especially in handheld mode. The OLED screen isn't just prettier, it's also larger, giving players more room to immerse themselves in their favorite worlds. The OLED model also introduced other small but thoughtful improvements. The kickstand is sturdier, the speakers are better, and the overall design feels more premium. It's not a complete overhaul, but it's a nice step up for players who want the best version of the Switch. Even the original Switch received a quiet update in 2019, with a new model that had improved battery life. The updated version extended playtime by a few hours, which makes a big difference when you're deep into an adventure or racing through another Mario Kart tournament. What's impressive about the Switch's evolution is that Nintendo has stayed true to the console's original vision. Each version adds something new while keeping the core idea intact, gaming that adapts to your life. As we move into the final section, we'll reflect on the legacy of the Nintendo Switch and what makes it such a special console. For now, just imagine the feeling of holding a brand new device, the excitement of powering it on for the first time, and the endless possibilities waiting to unfold. Let that thought carry you closer to rest. The Nintendo Switch has become more than just a console. It's a symbol of what gaming can be. Since its launch, it has sold over 120 million units, making it one of the best-selling consoles of all time. But the true measure of its success isn't just in the numbers. It's in the memories it has created for players around the world. The Switch is about versatility. It's a console that adapts to your life, whether you're curled up on the couch, traveling across the country, or sharing a game with friends at a party. It doesn't matter where you are or how you play. What matters is the joy it brings. It's also about connection. The Switch has brought families together with games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Super Mario Party. It's given friends a way to bond, whether they're battling it out in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or building islands in Animal Crossing, New Horizons. And it's reminded solo players of the beauty of exploring a world at their own pace, like in The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Nintendo has always focused on fun, creativity, and accessibility, and the Switch embodies those values perfectly. It's not about having the most powerful hardware or the most realistic graphics. It's about making people smile, one game at a time. As the years go on, the Switch will continue to evolve, bringing new experiences and new memories, but its legacy is already secure. It's a console that has redefined gaming, bridging the gap between the past and the future, the casual and the hardcore, and the handheld and the home. As we close out tonight's journey, let yourself reflect on your own experiences with gaming. Maybe it's a favorite game, a special moment with friends, or just the quiet comfort of playing after a long day. Hold on to that feeling as you drift off to sleep. Thank you for spending your evening with Lost at 3 AM. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time.